tenacious, programmed destruction. You either fit into their grand design, or are an anomaly which must be eradicated. A race which does not fear infighting, greed, or cowardice. They are a voiceless terror who exist beyond time, perhaps even beyond dimensions. In Destiny 1, they were our first great challenge, and war against them is not just a question of where, but when. The Vex represent by far the most technologically advanced race in the Destiny universe. They are a foe untethered by the chains of time. While it is clear that the ability to jump through time is an incredibly difficult and complex undertaking even to a race as advanced as the Vex, this power means that it is nearly impossible to gauge their true strength. They are an unyielding, emotionless enemy who seek their own definition of perfection at any and all costs. Perhaps most terrifying is their ability to hide spaces beyond the time stream, to make entire areas inaccessible without their technological prowess. Despite all this power and arguably the biggest advantage of any foe of the Guardians, the Vex quickly became an afterthought in our battles after the slaying of the Heart of the Black Garden. This is not to say that the Vex disappeared altogether. Throughout our campaigns after the defeat of the Black Heart, the Vex continuously attempted to undo their failures at the hands of the Guardians. The first to fall after the death of the Black Heart were the Templar and Athean, Time's Conflux, both within the Vault of Glass, and a severe setback in both their campaign to reform Venus in their image and the Vex's influence on the time stream. Since the deaths of both the Black Heart and Athean, the goal of the Vex has shifted to pulling these two through time from the past back to our present, to re-establish the same foothold they had before our intervention. The first attempt came in the form of Sekiran, Nessus Mind, who worked to restart the Vex's reshaping of Venus, but he was quickly discovered by Ikora Rey and dealt with by the Guardians. Next came the Undying Mind, a Vex Hydra so old and powerful that even the emotionless Vex are said to feel something akin to fear while in its presence. The Undying Mind was found on Venus, attempting to bring the Black Heart back to life and hide the Black Garden away in time once more. Thanks again to her intelligence network, Ikora Rey was able to send a fire team to prevent this from happening, and the Vex saw yet another monumental setback. Our last direct encounter with the Vex came in the form of Theosian, the Restorative Mind, an advanced harpy who wished to undo our previous victory against Sekiran and once again kickstart the Vex's campaign on Venus, but became yet another victim of the Guardians. Theosian is apparently just one of many such minds, and as such it raises many questions. Its Grimoire card points out these questions plainly, stating, "If the Vex could unleash time as a weapon against humanity, why does humanity still stand? Are we so insignificant a threat that the Vex haven't bothered with total annihilation? Or is it that the very state of mankind, diminished to a last city, is a Vex doing? That the Vanguard exists in a causal loop that the Vex control in its entirety, one from which there is no escape? A terrifying concept, to be sure, but one we have no way of confirming or denying. As far as we know, the Guardians have been able to thwart the Vex at every turn. Despite all their power, their seemingly infinite numbers, and even their at least partial control of the very fabric of reality, the Vex's presence in our system has been diminished for quite some time. However, the Vex have made their way back into our system through the complete domination of Nessus. Nessus is an interesting planetoid in and of itself. It is technically designated not as a planet, but as a centaur. It is a small, icy planetoid less than 40 miles in diameter, with an incredibly irregular oval orbit through our system that lasts 122 years. This orbit is actually incredibly important to the story of Destiny 2. Tucked seemingly at random in the massive wall of text that is the Grimoire card Ghost Fragment Cade 6, you'll find this. Centaur Planetoid 7066 Nessus re-enters system after unexplained delay. Nessus, one of the new worlds we will visit in Destiny 2, appears to be the new stronghold of the Vex in our system. So what exactly does this unexplained delay mean? Thanks to the Destiny 2 beta, we were able to see firsthand that more than any other place we have visited save for perhaps Mercury, Nessus is by far the place which has been reshaped in the image of the Vex to the greatest degree. This new world contains literal waterfalls of radiolaria, the active mind fluid and living aspect of the Vex all across the landscape. The Vex have turned this small planetoid into almost a spaceship. Or perhaps a time ship. During our battle versus Protheon, Modular Mind, we get a glimpse deeper into the planetoid, and the entire massive sections of the planet's interior that have been transformed to better suit the Vex's needs. This delay to Nessus's re-entry into our system? I'm guessing a bit here, but it may well be that the Vex are using Nessus as a staging platform that exists outside of time, a flying factory which they can use to redistribute their forces across time and space. It is a planetoid mothership, one that may have the possibility to choose exactly where and when its forces are distributed. In what may turn out to be a blessing in disguise, the Red Legion are well aware of the value of Nessus, and are waging open warfare against the Vex there for the sake of research and weapons development. While our main campaign in Destiny 2 will likely not feature a large focus on the Vex, we know for certain that some of their secrets will be revealed to us sooner rather than later. The first expansion to Destiny 2 appears to be focused on Osiris, the exiled protege of the Speaker and foremost expert on Vex technology in the universe. In addition to Osiris, we have a new figure with deep ties to the Vex who was introduced in the Grimoire card Ghost Fragment Eris Morn, in which Eris watches over an Awoken at rest in a medical bay in the tower. It reads, Eris regarded the Awoken in the bed. His name was Asher Mir. Irascible, annoying, cantankerous, she'd even seen Ikora Rey become exasperated in his presence. Her lips quirked very slightly upwards, a kindred spirit if she'd ever had one. Her smile died as her gaze slid to his side. His warlock garb had been stripped from his body, and she could see his pale blue chest as it rose and fell in the bed. His arm was gone. In its place was a thing. The point where mechanicals knit with flesh was ghastly to behold, but the design was unmistakable to any guardian who'd been in the field. Asher Mir's arm was that of a Vex construct. Her eyes flicked to the ghost at the window. It too was transformed. The unmistakable outline of Vex technology encrusting and penetrating the small warden's shell. That red, staring eye. Asher Mir and his ghost represent the first time we have seen the marriage of Guardian flesh and Vex technology, and his ghost appears to have undergone a similar metamorphosis. Whether or not Asher Mir, Jensen's scribe, will have a direct effect on our future campaigns is something we must wait to confirm, but it appears to be a distinct possibility. Any victory against the Vex will always have its tangibility questioned. It is clear to us now that they have multiple levels of contingency plans in place as their most powerful minds meet their demise. But in the Guardians, the Vex may have found a foe who can respond to their actions and threats faster than they can react, even with time travel. There is no way to truly know if our battles are futile, though, as by their very nature, the Vex's existence across the fabric of space-time means that any and all assumptions we can make about them are mere speculation. Their ability to redefine space-time as they see fit is forever a threat, and unless we are able to unlock their secrets, our wars against them could well be eternal. Thank you for watching. This has been Scan with GLHF TV.